A lot of Bengals fans point to the safety position as area concern because you lose the killer bees, Bell and Bates, to other teams in the National Football League. Well, I'm here to tell you, Dax Hill, Nick Scott, going to be fine. And our special guest today on In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, is Nick Scott. And he tells us what he brings to the table at the safety position, not only as a football player, but as a man. Nick Scott's he's a special human being. There's no question about it. He talks football. He talks family. He talks a lot of things. You're going to like it. You're going to like it a lot. Thanks for carving time out of your busy schedule to join us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, we're emanating from our outstanding studios, and we've got an outstanding guest today, safety with the Cincinnati Bengals, none other than Mr. Nick Scott. What's up, sir? How you be?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I got no complaints. Doesn't do any good anyway, right? Nobody's listening. What the heck?
All right.
We've got a mutual friend who speaks very highly of you, Andrew Whitworth, former Cincinnati Bengal great O-lineman and teammate of yours with the Rams. Tell us your take on Big Whit.
Big Whit, easily one of the best leaders I've ever had in any locker room that I've been in. Great dude. Always made it a point to connect with guys young and old. So, tremendously happy I was able to share the locker room with him, play with him for some time. He's a great dude.
It's funny. That's what I'm hearing from your teammates here in Cincinnati about you. That you connect with everybody. You've just got a great personality, and you've made a very, very favorable impression in a very short time frame here in Cincinnati. I mean, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just try to, come in and, be myself. I love connecting with the guys. I love having a good time, cracking jokes. So, I'm glad it's all being received well.
Now, you were with the LA Rams. Coach Sean McVay is a big culture guy. Mm-hmm. Zach Taylor is a big culture guy. Are there similarities to the locker rooms and the culture aspect of that?
Yeah, I would say there's definitely similarities, but one thing that struck me for sure is just the amount of time that the guys here spend with each other in the locker room after meetings and after practice and everything like that. I think what most guys are used to in the league is, everybody has their separate life and separate family outside of football. So usually guys, after what I'm used to in LA is guys, we would finish meetings, guys would kind of hit the road and get back to what they got to do. But this is about as close to a college environment as I've been in a while, where guys are spending time with each other, playing endless amount of games of ping pong, which is a great time. It gets real competitive. Sometimes it gets heated, but it's all in good fun. So the relationships are huge here.
So you went to Penn. You played high school in Fairfax, Virginia, high school ball, and then you went to Penn State, and initially a running back, correct? Like a multi-purpose running back, and then moved to corner, and then since moved to safety. What about that position change from offense to defense? What was that like? What was that transition like for you?
It was definitely a difficult transition, especially when you talk about technique and things like that. But it wasn't too much of a shock to me, just because at the time I was playing a whole lot of special teams and, tackling anyway every day in practice. So by the time I started playing at safety, I had been on the defensive side of the ball in practice for about 2 years.
So having played on the offensive side of it and now transitioning to the defensive side of it, was it easier for you to okay, I know formationally I have an idea of what kind of concept they might be utilizing here. I mean, was that a help for you to have that exposure on the offensive side of it?
It was definitely a help, especially playing running back, just understanding, how you want to blitz and attack running backs when you're rushing and things like that, because I've been on the other side where I had to do pass pro. And on the other side of that too, I was thinking, once I moved to defense, I was thinking, man, if I had just knew how defense really operated, it would have been so much easier for me to pick up pass pro. It's not that hard to figure out where people are coming from. But yeah, it definitely helped. Being from the flip side, understanding, what offenses want to do, who they want to attack, and things like that.
So you were on the Rams team that beat the Bengals in Super Bowl 56. That's your Super Bowl win. I mean that's a big deal. You played very well in that football game. Was your exposure to the Bengals in that game? Did it have any bearing on you wanting to be a Bengal?
Yeah, I think for sure. That was a huge part of my decision, just because of the season I was a part of last year. I wanted to be back with a team that, had the potential to win it all and go the distance. That game was extremely competitive. The Bengals at the time were just unfortunately on the wrong side of a classic game. That game could have went either way. And so that was a huge part of my decision coming back here. Just the amount of guys, the amount of star power that we have here, and how connected this team is. It should be a lot of good football for a long time, and I wanted to be a part of that.
From a transition standpoint, again, how similar, how different are the schematics that you were exposed to at the Rams as opposed to Lou Anarumo's? Is it a matter of just unlearning and relearning terminology? There are so many similarities there, or is it totally different?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of both, actually. Once you get into the thick of it, defense is defense. There's only so many coverages that are played and everything like that. I think what makes Lou so special is the amount of trust he has in the players and moving guys around to play different techniques. So a lot of coverages might look like something, but aren't played by the traditional position player. For instance, a linebacker could be doing a drop that a corner is usually doing, and vice versa. So that's a testament to the players he has on this roster and their ability to be interchangeable.
Yeah, that's an amazing part of it. The versatility. Man, the linebackers, for example, in your nickel defense, Logan Wilson, Germaine Pratt. I mean, they were defensive backs in college, and they started their college careers as a corner and a safety. So it's pretty remarkable how, like you say, everybody is so interchangeable. And when teams are substituting or not substituting, they've got diverse personnel skill set offensively. You guys can match up. If they try to spread the field, you guys can match up in any way. And if they want to hunker down and try to bully in the running game, you can match up with that as well.
Exactly. That's key, right? You want to be able to, take away any phase of the game from the offense that you need to. And obviously this defense has been doing that for a while at a successful rate.
The one thing about Lou that impresses me as a former player is he's all about great ideas. It doesn't have to be his idea. It's like, if the players have a good idea and he presents that good idea, they present it to him, he's all about it. He's all about it. It's like, if it's going to make the team better, if it's going to impact a game potentially, he doesn't mind where it comes from. In fact, he welcomes that kind of communication, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he really does. And I can see that, especially with the guys who have been here for a while, just how they talk and practice and bounce ideas off of each other. It's not just one-sided. It's not just him spewing information at guys on why he wants to do things a certain way. He's very open. He's very receptive, especially when it comes to guys like Logan and Germaine, who've been in his system for a while and know what he wants and have played many different techniques for him. Like you said, I think that's a testament to who he is as a person and a coach and a leader.
So when you were prepping for the Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowl 56, you obviously had an idea. You were presented things from your organization, your coaching staff about the Bengals offensive football team. How different is it when you came here and experienced it firsthand? Was it pretty much what you expected, or was it were there some? Boy, I didn't realize this. I didn't expect that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much what I expected, just from the standpoint of these guys on this team and the players on the roster, especially the offensive side of the ball, have commanded so much respect around the league. You kind of expect a certain level of greatness from them and an approach from them for the reason why they're as good as they are. So, when I came here and saw how they operated and how they work together, it's pretty much on brand on what you would expect, which is a testament to those guys and their approach to the game.
About your coach in that back end at the safety position, Robert Livingston,
Mm-hmm.
a young guy that he's all about building relationships too, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he really is, and that's the first person I met with when I took a visit down with the Bengals, and we hit it off right from the jump. Man, he's a young guy, like you said, which makes it easy for him to connect, and we bounced a lot of stuff off of each other. It wasn't just football. That kind of made the bed for why I felt so comfortable, joining this organization because of guys like Rob and Lou and some of the players around the building.
You're married. You have a child. I mean, you're a family guy. How are you guys adjusting to Cincinnati? How do you like Cincinnati?
Oh, we love it. My wife and I, we remark all the time about how we think it's the perfect place to start a young family. My wife and I, we love spending time with each other. We love walking around and taking Jackson, our son, for walks and our dog for walks. And it's really the perfect city for that. We live right by the Purple People Bridge, so we're always walking across that and walking on the riverfront. It's a great time. We love exploring together. And, it's been fun.
So what do you think in terms of two coaches that actually Zach is from the Sean McVay tree, coaching tree? They have the same mindset in terms of not beating players up and keeping players fresh. That's the one thing that I hear about players that are new to Zach's way he handles training camp. And, oh, man, I'm fresher than I've ever felt. I've never felt this good coming into the start of a season. Is it pretty similar the way Sean does things and the way Zach does things in terms of not taking care of you guys' bodies pretty much?
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much what I'm used to, which has been good just for my transition because, like you mentioned, there's some guys who are on the other side of that and may come from a system like Sean's system or Zach's system and end up somewhere where they just kind of hit it all the time. So I've been blessed to kind of have an easy transition in that respect. But I think Zach does a great job of making sure that camp is still challenging and getting your body for the physical toll, ready for the physical toll that it's about to take over the next 18, 19, 20, 24 weeks, whatever it is. And I'm also aware that you have to approach the AFC North a little bit different in terms of your preparation because it's a ground and pound league. Like it's going to be physical games out there. That's what this division is known for. So I'm super excited about that, and I think they do a great job of making sure we're ready for the physical aspect as well.
Yeah, that's one thing that when I watch you guys practice, I mean that's something that you have to learn and have to experience. The pace of practice, you guys, the tempo, the pace, it's at a very, very high level. You waste no time out there. I mean, it's and there's some guys. It takes a while for guys to learn how to practice that way. It's very efficient, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is really efficient. We hit it like you said, everything's blocked out for us. And there's never a time where we're just sitting around not doing anything, right? Our heart rate's going and all that stuff. And I think all of that is preparing us for what it's going to be like in a game. I mean, there's going to be times where, hopefully it never happens, but on defense, you're going to come off the field, turnovers happen, you may sit down, and 2 plays later, you might have to pop back up and get going. So we need to be ready for any and all types of situations. And like I said, I think they do a tremendous job of, taking care of our bodies, but at the same time, making sure that we're still, building a little bit of grit and learning how to push through tough times in terms of your wind and when your body is telling you to stop.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, the AFC North, I mean, that is a physical division. There's no question about it. And you open up with the Cleveland Browns, Nick Chubb.
Yep.
Enough said right there. That dude, he runs he runs behind his pads, man. That's a that's a physical runner right there. And we got Batonio and Wyatt Teller, these two beasts at the guard position. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they're gonna try to hunker down and run the ball a little bit, aren't they?
No, yeah, for sure. And those guys are extremely talented. And I'm really excited about that matchup. I think all of us are. This will be my first time, seeing Nick Chubb, and I'm excited for the opportunity. Anytime we get to play some good backs like that, it's a challenge to the defense and gets us excited because we know we're going to have to put our pads on somebody and get those things popping, and that's what we're excited for. You can't be on defense and not like to hit.
No question.
Yeah.
Deshawn Watson at the quarterback position is a dual threat. Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson at the quarterback position is a dual threat. This division, it's no joke. There's at Pittsburgh, all their quarterback did was have a perfect rating during the preseason.
Right.
Had a 158.3 quarterback rating. I mean, it's a strong division in terms of quarterback play.
Oh yeah, for sure. And, that's what you want, right? You want a challenge, right? Because we pride ourselves on, being the best and holding ourselves to, an extremely high standard, and we want to aspire to be the best on the field every Sunday. And in doing that, we want to get that done when other people are at their best. So those guys are extremely talented, and we see every week as a challenge, and we're going to attack those challenges wholeheartedly.
Now, do you like the fact that you open up with 2 division games, one on the road and one at home, just to, I guess, find out exactly where you stack up right away in terms of division play?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's great for us, a great position to be in, just because, the gravity of the situation is through the roof. So there's no lull, right? There's no sitting back and waiting for division plays. Like, it's on us, and this is as serious as it gets. This is as important as it gets. So I think everybody's going to be in the right mindset headed into these first 2 weeks.
A lot of people are like, oh boy, the Bengals, they lost their 2 veteran safeties in the same offseason. What's going to happen back there? You and Dax Hill, do you guys relish that opportunity? It's like, I'll show you we can play. I mean, is that something that you look forward to and say, I'm going to give you at least the effort that you used to back there at the safety position?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be the case, regardless of the situation, what it was last year. I think that's just how both of us are wired as individuals. I think that's how you have to be wired as an NFL athlete coming into a new season. You got to be ready to prove it every single snap, just because, there's always somebody behind you, and there's, teams are always looking for the next guy up. And so that's been our approach coming into this offseason. That's been my approach coming into all 5 off seasons that I've been a part of in the NFL, is just go out there and prove to everybody that still, for whatever reason, may have doubts that I can get the job done.
You're an extremely articulate man, for sure. What did you study? What did you study at Penn State?
I studied psychology at Penn State. It was turned into a little bit of a passion of mine. Just I felt like I had a great understanding for people and behaviors and things like that.
Huh. How does that affect your football? When you're thinking about that, the mental aspect of the game of football, does that major come in handy?
I think it could, maybe when studying a quarterback, maybe depending on the guy, what his personality is. If he's confident and things like that, might try to force some throws in there, might be able to get away with some PBUs or throwing the ball in some windows he maybe shouldn't. So maybe, who knows, or maybe just in the locker room helping me connect with guys.
Right. When did you realize that, when you were in high school, were you a multi-sport athlete? Did you play everything?
I played up until my sophomore year. I played, the basketball, football, and track. Yeah.
So what position did you play in basketball?
Basketball, I was a guard.
Were you point or shooting guard?
Point guard.
Point guard.
Yeah.
So you were the quarterback of the whole thing, huh?
I was the quarterback of the whole thing, and at that time, I was actually playing quarterback in high school as well.
Is that right? How about that?
Yeah.
What events did you do in track and field?
I did all the jumping events. I did long jump and high jump. Those were my favorite. And And then occasionally, if we needed points, they would throw me in a 100-meter dash or 400 or something like that.
So
Wasn't my favorite, though. I wasn't much of a sprinter. I didn't like sprinting as much as I liked jumping.
So what were your best jumps?
My best jump, I actually stopped track after my freshman year, unfortunately, but my best jump as a freshman was 6'8" high
Wow.
jump. And then I believe I went to the state meet for a long jump, and I jumped freshman year like 24.6 or something like that. I can't remember.
Man, you can jump, man. You got some explosion.
Yeah, my parents, they called me Jackrabbit growing up, which is how that's how we got my son's name. I named it after that, named him Jack.
Is that right? How about
Yeah.
that? So right away though, football was football your main love at an early age?
Oh yeah, football. I was obsessed with football ever since I remember, just picking up a football and throwing it. That's I have documentation of me in kindergarten and things saying when I grow up I want to be in the NFL and all that stuff. I was all football through and through.
So who are some of your mentors? I mean, were there coaches that in your high school years, college, and even in the professional level that had a major that have had a major impact on your career?
Yeah, I would say honestly, the first person the reason why I fell in love with football, other than my father, because I knew he played football, was probably my oldest brother, Irvin, and seeing him kind of fall in love with the game and watching him play Little League and all that stuff. I looked up to him a lot, as well as my middle brother, Leon. I'm the youngest. But just watching him kind of transition through the levels of football and like get to a point where he was working on his own time to get better. That's kind of how I figured out what it takes to be, an athlete and how you get better at sports and how you approach it and everything like that. He kind of lit that fire in me to want to be the best at football. And then there's a high school coach of mine named Coach Mahoney at Brookline High. He kind of took it to the next level. He kind of showed me how to work. Right. He was the coach that started getting me up at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. to go throw and do footwork and things like that. All that kind of stuff kind of lit a fire in me. And then other than like James Franklin, the obvious one who gave me my opportunity at Penn State,
Sure.
I would say Charles Huff was my special teams coordinator. He got me into special teams. He's a head coach now at Marshall. But he kind of saw a kid who, was kind of fading away in the linebacker room, or the running back room. And he was like, hey, man, I think you could be a great special teams player. So if you buy into that, it's a funny story actually with him. He was like, I want you to go home and Google Mike Thomas. All right. He's a special teams player. And, I want you to be like the Mike Thomas for us. And so I've known about Mike for a long time. So it's funny I ended up in the same locker room with him. But he was the blueprint for how I saw myself getting into this league. Funny enough,
that's incredible. It really is. And
it goes to show you just how old he is.
What a great human being, though, isn't he? He's
Mike's awesome, man. He is
awesome. He is something else. What do you like? What do you love about football? What do you like most about the game?
Man, I honestly, I love the physical aspect. Like I love hitting people. I love it. I really do. It's just something about it. It's like when I was in like some of the little leagues, Pop Warner and stuff. I liked being tackled. I played running back, and I had two older brothers, so I liked being on the ground and kind of wrestling and tackling people and being tackled. That was always a fun part for me. So not much has changed. I like hitting people. That's about it.
That's a must for the game. There's no question about that. What about are you a goal oriented guy? Do you have individual goals, team goals, and that sort of thing? Do you set goals like that on a yearly basis?
Yeah, kind of. My overall goal is just kind of be better than I was the year before. I'm very motivated by, I guess, doubt. I'm motivated by people thinking I can't do something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even if I got a whole bunch of people on my side telling me I'm good and all this stuff, I usually can find some motivating factor, whether it be on Instagram or somebody said, and I kind of just like keep that in the back of my mind, that there's people who think I can't do something. That's what keeps me going. That's what motivates me. That's what made me a great special teams player. That's what made me a good safety, and that's what kept me grinding to continue to aspire to be a starter in this league. Just keep it in the back of my mind that somewhere out there there's somebody that thinks that I can't do it.
You love proving people wrong, huh? That's that's a big special teams. What does it take? All the young people out there that are playing football, that are listening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Offense, the heroes, offense, defense, playmakers, and all that. Special teams, it takes a special breed, a special player,
Mm-hmm.
person to play special teams effectively. What does it
Right.
take? What are the key ingredients to outstanding special teams performance?
I would say the first key ingredient is effort. Special teams is all about effort, especially when you talk about those coverage phases. Usually the guy that wants to make the tackle the most is probably going to be the one to make the tackle, because you got to get off blocks, you got to get through double teams and everything like that. So effort, physicality, you got to run full speed and not be afraid to block somebody who's running at you full speed, and you got to not be afraid to run through somebody's face in order to get to the ball. So effort, physicality, and then just an understanding of the game and how certain teams are trying to attack you with leverage and everything like that. So effort, physicality, and understanding.
All good tips for sure. For
Right.
everything in football and in life, man. And football is. I've found so many things that you take from the game of football and apply it to life. It's like a slice of life. Every practice, every game, it ends up being a slice of life. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's a tremendous amount of life lessons in football. It's one of the greatest teachers ever.
No question about it. Well, Nick, appreciate you carving time for us today. You're an outstanding football player and even better human being, and you've made a major impact in the locker room in a very short time frame, and understandably so when you get a chance to meet you and talk to you like we have today, and appreciate you giving us the time.
I appreciate it, Dave. Thanks for having me, and if you ever want me back, just let me know.
Will do. Thank you, sir. Have the best day you ever had.
Thank you. You too.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.